Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're gonna be starting off with a new series. A series called Why Everyone Plays, just so that I can cover more champions on this channel. And yeah. But the champion that won the poll that I actually made is this dude right here, the Unstoppable Juggernaut. Judging from his looks alone, you'd never guess that this dude is played by everyone. But before we discuss why everyone plays him, let's actually go over all of his abilities first.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
When Juggernaut enters a fight, he starts with an active Gem of Sidorak passive. Now this gem will be disabled if he suffers from a non-damaging debuff or if he's knocked down. And while the gem is disabled, Juggernaut will then suffer a 50% weakness passive. While the Crimson Gem is active, Juggernaut gains the following effects: 1500 attack rating, plus 25% damage reduction, and immunity to reversed controls. Now moving on to his unstoppable buffs. Juggernaut can only activate his unstoppable buffs while the gem is active, and each time he moves forward or lands an attack, he gains an unstoppable buff, but he loses one each time he is struck, enters block, or blocks an attack. These buffs will be decreased by 1 every 1.25 seconds, and the timer is reset each time an unstoppable buff is added or removed, or when Juggernaut dashes backwards. Each unstoppable buff will then give him the following effects: plus 300 attack rating, increasing power rate by 2.50%, and lowering the opponent's chance to trigger stun debuffs by 20%. However, if he does prevent a stun debuff from triggering, he'll actually lose 7 unstoppable buffs, and the maximum amount of unstoppable buffs you can actually have is 10. Now while Juggernaut has 10 unstoppable buffs, he gains an unblockable passive, making his next blocked attack unblockable at the cost of 10 unstoppable buffs. And after landing a unblockable attack, Juggernaut will then be unable to gain unstoppable buffs for 7 seconds, and he'll place a Wither debuff on the opponent, which reduces their power rate by 50% for 10 seconds. Now as for the heavy attacks, they have a 100% chance to inflict a stagger passive on the opponent for 8 seconds, and if the gem is active, he'll then inflict an additional stagger. But moving on to the special attacks, and each time he activates a special attack, it'll actually activate the Crimson Gem of Sidorak if it's disabled. The Special 1. He gains an energized buff for 10 seconds, which grants him 25% increased combat power rate. The Special 2. Each hit will deal a burst of physical damage, and while he's at maximum momentum, he has a 100% chance to gain a Fury buff, granting additional attack rating for 10 seconds. The Special 3. After activation, the Crimson Gem cannot be removed for 20 seconds, and while at maximum momentum, he will inflict a stun debuff on the opponent for 4 seconds. But moving on to the Awakened ability. The weakness passive that you gain when you're inflicted with a non-damaging debuff will be reduced to a certain percentage and will become a debuff instead, and his attacks will have a chance per unstoppable buff to nullify a buff from the opponent. And that is it. Pretty simple yet effective, especially when it comes to the big numbers. Now after this dude got a buff, a lot of people have pretty much been neglecting him for a while, but look at this dude, man. This dude is jacked. I'm pretty sure he has no struggles with carrying boats or anything, but damn, he's kinda shaped like a sausage. And I'm definitely not the biggest fan of the attire. I mean, yeah, it looks cool for Juggernaut, but personally, it just ain't me, man. But moving on to the topic of why everyone plays him. Now Juggernaut, it is no surprise that he gets banned a lot of times in Battlegrounds, simply due to the fact that in some cases, he can actually finish fights faster than CGR. When you play him, you can pretty much play him like a child because the unstoppable buffs will pretty much give you safety for a lot of things, and the only disadvantage you have is it becomes a bit of a hassle once his gem is disabled. However, of course, if you play him well enough, you'll be mowing down fights pretty fast. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments who next I should make a why everyone plays video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
Hello.
My name is Mr. Sexy Jura.
This sucks. I'm drowning. I'm miserable.